There's nothing more satisfying than finding and squeezing a pimple, am I right? For most of us, this is an occasional guilty pleasure or something we can ignore altogether if we want to. For others though, it can develop into something that causes some pretty big issues. Picking at the skin on your face or your lips or anywhere on the body can serve a number of functions. For some people it's a distraction and tension release from anxiety. For others it might relieve boredom. Every person is unique, and so too are the reasons behind their behaviour. Unfortunately, the visible signs of skin picking on your face or other parts of the body can cause you to be self-conscious or even feel ashamed. In extreme cases, this type of behaviour can start to interfere with your everyday life and mental health. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that this is probably a problem that you have. The good news is that just like any other type of habit, there are strategies you can use to bring this behavior back to a regular level where it doesn't cause you problems. The first thing you'll need to do is take about a week where you record every time you pick at your skin. You should note down what you were doing and feeling immediately before you picked your skin and what the consequence of your actions were after the behavior. As an example, maybe you were stressing about a big deadline at work, you picked at your skin, and then afterwards you felt satisfied and could watch TV without thinking about work. After a week, take a look at your list and see if you can identify any patterns. Are there certain times of day that are worse than others? What were you usually doing or feeling before you started picking your skin? Then, looking at the consequences for the action, what do you think the reason is behind this behavior? Once you have these answers, you can put a plan in place. It's important that you learn to recognize when you're about to pick your skin so that you can intervene and try to stop yourself. Recording every instance of picking is really important and will help with this. You should try to record each instance as soon as possible. It's very hard to stop something cold turkey, so instead of trying to just give up this behavior, you'll need to choose what's called a competing response. It should involve your hands in some way so that you're not able to pick your skin whilst you do this alternative behavior, and it should serve the same function for you as picking your skin does. For example, if boredom is the reason that you pick, then having a Rubik's Cube or fidget spinner or something like that that you can fiddle with for 1 to 3 minutes would be a suitable competing response. If skin picking is mostly due to anxiety, then you might link your hands together over your stomach and breathe mindfully for 1 to 3 minutes. Make sure it's a behavior you can do anywhere without attracting too much attention so that you can do it whenever you need to. So far, we've had a look at how to identify the function of the behavior and how to choose a competing response to replace skin picking. Next, you want to try and make skin picking more difficult and the competing response easier. So you could try wearing gloves at risky times of day or putting moisturizer on your face so that it's slippery. If seeing yourself in a mirror is an issue, you could cover them up and only use a smaller mirror when necessary. The aim is to make picking your skin as much effort as possible so that you'll be less likely to do it. If your competing response is to fiddle with something, make sure that you have plenty of options around you so that you don't have to go looking for something to use. We want the path of least resistance to point towards the competing response and to not pick your skin. Now, all these strategies are great, but humans thrive on connection, and you're much more likely to be successful if you recruit some social support to keep you going. Let a few trusted people know what you're doing and encourage them to check in on your progress, especially if they live with you. They'll help to hold you accountable, and you can celebrate with them as you meet your goals. It also helps to think about all the reasons that you want to stop picking your skin. Write them down so you can see them as a visible reminder. If picking starts to increase for a few days, pull these out and remind yourself why you're doing this. You could also make a graph of your behavior over time so that you can see the trends. If it starts to go up, that would be a visible reminder to stay on top of things, and when it starts to go down, you should feel proud of your efforts. So next, you need to decide on what goal you're going to aim for. Don't make it too much of a change to start with. If you picked your skin approximately 7 times a day during the first week, then set your first target for 6. Every day you meet your goal, make sure you record it somewhere visible so that you can see your progress. This part is important. We all like to feel like we're reaching goals. It feels good, and it's this feeling that makes us want to repeat an action. Humans won't do anything unless it feels good, and the whole point of this plan is to show yourself that you can do other things in place of skin picking that feel just as good. When you start hitting 6 times a day more regularly, take it back to 5 and keep lowering as you get more confident. You could even set yourself a couple of longer term rewards. Maybe when you get down to 3 times a day, you'll treat yourself to a massage or go for a day out with a friend. Everyone is different. There is no set time frame that this should take. Make sure you go at a pace that you're comfortable with. It's so much better to go slow and steady than try and rush, get overwhelmed, and give up. Now, I'm sure there are other habits in your life that you've changed over time. It's definitely possible to make these changes. If this is something that's starting to affect your day-to-day life, or you can't get on top of it on your own, then it might be a good idea to consider seeing a professional like a psychologist. Good luck, and I'd love to know how you go. Leave me a comment on the video below. Bye.